رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. A beautiful observation in the Quran's narration of story. You will see that in chapter 40, Surah Ghafir. You can read it, it's not a very big chapter. There is a mention of the story of a believing man from the people of Pharaoh. And this believer, he had hid his faith. And when the Pharaoh decided in verse 26, when he decided to kill Musa alayhi salam, then he spoke up. And the Pharaoh, he said in verse 26, let me kill Moses and let him call upon his Lord. So he spoke up in verse number 28 and he said, and a believing man from the family of Pharaoh who concealed his faith, who was hiding his faith, right? Who concealed his faith said, do you kill a man merely because he says my Lord is Allah, while he has brought you clear proofs from your Lord? And if he should be lying, then upon him is the consequence of his lie. But if he should be truthful, there will strike you some of what he promises you. Indeed, Allah does not guide one who is transgressor and a liar, who is a transgressor and a liar. SubhanAllah. Now, I want to show you a beautiful thing in the narration or the details of how the Quran mentions the speech of this believing man from the family of Pharaoh, who had concealed his faith. How the Quran narrates his statement while keeping into consideration the fact that he had concealed his faith. Now, he was kind of, you can say, on the back foot, maybe apprehensive, a bit fearful from the people of Pharaoh or the chiefs over there. So the way the Quran narrates the details of how he spoke show this concealment of faith, how he had been hiding his faith, right? How he was on the back foot. By first of all saying, if he should be lying, if Musa alayhi salam, if he should be lying, then upon him is the consequence of his lie. And then he says that if he should be truthful. So now he mentions him, yani Musa alayhi salam, as first considering him to be a liar. Because, the chiefs around them, they're against him. The people of Pharaoh, they're against Musa alayhi salam. So, when he says he's a liar, they're like pacified, like, okay, yeah, we know he's a liar. So first he mentions the lying, showing that, okay, wait, I'm not going to directly say he's truthful. First, I'm going to consider him being a liar. So subhanAllah, he first mentions the lying. That shows the fact that he was like apprehensive, or at least he was a bit fearful. He had been concealing his faith, right? So he first mentions Musa alayhi salam, or considers him, takes the consideration into fact that he's a liar first, and then that he's truthful, right? The second thing that shows the detail of how he had been concealing his faith is through the way he says, if he should be truthful, there will strike you some of what he promises. When he mentioned lying, he said, if he should be lying, upon him is the consequence of his lie. He didn't say some of the consequences of his lying. He just says upon him is the consequence. But when he says, if he should be truthful, he doesn't say all of what he promises you will strike you. He says, some of what he promises you, there will strike you some of it, not all of it. SubhanAllah, goes on to show his careful wording, him being very taking precaution against the enemies of Musa alayhi salam. SubhanAllah, I think it was very interesting to see how the Quran narrates the details which are in line with Quran mentioning him concealing his faith. So let me mention him lying first, let me consider him lying first, and then even when I mention the detail, let me say let all the consequences of his lying, like just the consequences of his lying would be upon him, and some of what he promises will strike you, not all of it. SubhanAllah, I think it's beautiful in the way the Quran narrates the story. May Allah help us appreciate the beauty of the Quran. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.